This week's champion trends feature Rengar, Vayne, Karthus, Soraka, LeBlanc, and Nidalee. I'm Lindsay with Zam Network, and this is LolKing's League Trends. Let's dive into Summoner's Rift. Guys, I'm gonna do this whole episode on my best Urgot impersonation, because I'm sick. This week, the champions on the increase in pick rates have Rengar up first. Kayle, Nami, Blitzcrank, and Yasuo follow up. The Pride Stalker is at the top of the popular kids list this week with his role in the jungle. Even though Rengar's jungle clear isn't the best in-game, what he does offer is tons of damage. Rengar also has synergy with many other champions. He can create an invisible bomb attack with a mid-zillion, or he can set up the perfect shockwave with Orianna. There are also a few Rengar top players still on the Rift kicking ass. The nerf to tank top Rengar was particularly rough, so players have now opted to build damage on him, with their core item being Ravenous Hydra. Due to Rengar's ultimate, Thrill of the Hunt, he excels at split pushing. By simply outmaneuvering his opponents with his invisibility, he's able to get out of many sticky situations. With the changes we've seen in recent patches and with some more on the way in 4.9, we might see more Rengar as players look for more champions to own with. Decreases in pick rates this week include Jax, Soraka, Vayne, Nocturne, and Zed. Vayne's pick rate rose a bit when the SKT Vayne skin came out, so naturally her pick rate has started to drop after the novelty has worn off. Vayne is currently outshined by other carries in this meta, so we only typically see her in competitive when it's a pocket pick. Players like Doublelift or Piglet still go back to her as a comfort selection in certain situations. Vayne is still a strong split pusher when she has Blade of the Ruined King, as she's able to kite and outmaneuver almost any top laner. Other marksmen are simply able to offer more throughout the game. Both Twitch and Lucian offer much stronger laning phases as well as other utilities. Lucian excels at sieging towers with his wave clear and his passive to take down towers quickly. Twitch has a strong teamfight presence with Rat-a-tat-tat and the ability to sneak up on people with ambush. Vayne is a late scaling carry and she can definitely melt tanks with her true damage from Silverbolt, but unless she gets fed early, she is weak compared to other carries. Increases in pick rate this week have Quinn at the top of the list, while Cho'Gath, Kha'Zix, Yasuo, and Karthus round it out. Everyone's favorite dead lich, Karthus, is getting a new visual update. His win rate went up by almost a whole %, which means people are practicing hard and preparing for his awesome improvement. Karthus has been played every now and again, but he's definitely a comfort champ for players like Froggen who can farm all day and scale into the late game. When Yasuo first appeared in competitive, Karthus was used as a counter pick because he's one of the few mid laners you could bring exhaust on, and that is a summoner spell that shuts down Yasuo in team fights. Karthus can be very dangerous to play in this meta against assassins like Zed and LeBlanc. If his summoner spells are on cooldown, you can be fairly sure he will get assassinated, even under tower. With the new visual update that's coming for Karthus and the buffed exhaust summoner spells, we may see some players trying to bring Karthus back and play him against champions like Nidalee and Yasuo. Decreases in win rates this week have Soraka dropping by almost 4%. Cassiopeia, Zac, Zilean, and Nautilus trail behind. Patch 4.8 made Soraka drop from top to bottom with a few nerfs to her kit. Her main damage spell, Star Call, was decreased in damage from 200 to 140 at max rank. Riot also added a 50 mana cost when she casts Infuse on an enemy target. This overall nerfed her pushing abilities and limited her harass due to the mana cost. This really hinders how dominant Soraka can be in lane and even her ability to win small skirmishes. The Star Call nerf was really detrimental to her team fighting abilities. Losing 60 damage per Star Call can add up quickly if you're in a team fight hitting multiple members of an enemy team. Watch out, math incoming. Let's say you hit 3 Star Calls on 3 enemy targets. That's 540 in terms of damage lost compared to the patch before. Not only did this nerf affect mid or top lane Soraka, it's also a huge nerf to her in the support role. Supports don't typically have as much freedom spamming their abilities like laners do, and the 50 mana cost on Infuse made her harass significantly weaker in lane. This may be the end of Soraka as we know and love, but hey, at least it frees up a ban for someone more threatening, right? Champs on the increase in ban rates list this week include Kayle, Rengar, Kassadin, LeBlanc, and Yasuo. LeBlanc is no doubt one of the scariest mid laners on the Rift. Her ban rate has been rising for most of the season for good reasons. She can dish out more damage in a single combo than any other mid laner in the current meta. She's always safe to blind pick due to how much mobility she has with Distortion. LeBlanc is extremely hard to gank in lane due to the mobility from Distortion and her passive Mirror Image to trick people into chasing her. Most LeBlanc players tend to rush Athene's Unholy Grail on her so she can spam abilities with mana regen and cooldown reduction from the item. This is a more poke-oriented build, however, if she gets Death Cap and Void Staff, she will have enough burst to one-shot people. However, there are still some players that favor the DFG Rush build. This build gives you a huge power spike once you finish the item. Once it's completed, you can almost one-shot anyone. The build path isn't as easy as the Grail, but if you are able to buy a needlessly large rod early, it will make LeBlanc extremely deadly. We will continue to see the Deceiver picked or banned in nearly every game and one-shotting people left and right. Hooray! Finally, the champions on the decrease in bans list have Soraka in the dubious lead with just over 14%. Master Yi, Nidalee, Nocturne, and Kha'Zix finish it off. While no changes have been made yet to this cougar, her ban rate has been steadily dropping throughout the week. Not to worry, Nidalee is just as slippery as before, and her spears can still hit like a truck. The most likely reason for the decline of Nidalee's on the Rift are due to the rise of other champions. Twisted Fate is being picked up more often, especially against Nidalee, because he can lane safely against her as she has very low kill pressure pre-6. TF can shove lane all day, then use his ultimate to port away and make a play. There's not much Nidalee can do about this as she gets outshoved in lane and isn't mobile enough to catch up to TF. Another champion being picked as a counter to Nidalee is Yasuo. He can lane safely against Nidalee and shove her under tower all of the laning phase. This gives Yasuo free farm and a much easier time scaling. Some players have opted to build a Frozen Gauntlet against Yasuo in lane, which is effective, however your spears will hurt much less. We'll still see some Nidalees on the Rift, but you can also bet there'll be people countering her. Finally! And that does it for this week's show. Please be sure to check back every week for the latest League of Legends, picks, bans, and win rates. Please be sure to like and comment below if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, LolKing.net, for more great content. Thanks to Cloth5 for the analysis. I'm Lindsay Geektron. You can follow me on Twitter @LindsayGeektron. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all next week.